Welcome, my friends, to Club DGX. Today we're going to talk about style creation again, because I know some of you are in this to create, not just to play, but to create new stuff. If you want to create a new style, go on down to the menu over here. It'll take you to this screen. Go over to menu 2. And the very first thing is Style Creator. Hit enter, and here we are in our Style Creator, and it says, do you want to use a current style or a new style? Let's assume you wanted to create something from scratch. You would hit New Style, and boom, you're into the Style Creator. It has got 3 numbers. So the first one is the section you're in, right? Number 2 is the tempo, you got to set it, and the time signature. And number 3 is rhythm, clear, channel delete, drum setup. But for now, we're quite content. We're already in there, and it's activated the second rhythm track. It always does that for some reason. So let's select the exact drum kit we want. I'm going to use one of the analogs, analog T9, or 8, whichever one. Sounds different today. Okay, I think it is T8. Okay, now, next thing we do is hit the metronome over here. Oh, well, I think we should exit, and now we can hit the metronome. For some odd reason, the metronome is not sounding. That could be for a number of reasons. So, word of caution, the metronome doesn't sound through the USB out. That's why I couldn't hear it until I actually turn up the volume on the keyboard proper. Then I can hear it, okay? So, sorry if you're gonna hear it kind of twice, but okay. So, the metronome needs to be set, the tempo needs to be set to something you want. I'm gonna put 94 on, and the next step would be to hit sync start, so that the moment you play, it begins to record. And I'm just going to begin programming straight away like that. Okay. All right. Let's get going. 2, 3, go. So you saw what happened. It's just one measure. Now, if I wanted it to be more than one measure, I would have to come over here and make some adjustments. So I would have to, let's see, I'd have to go back up to the top and choose the pattern length from here. And the pattern length, I want it to be 4. So I'm going to hit enter to make it 4 measures now. I'm going to go back to record, and I'm going to go down to number 3 and delete. I'm going to choose channel delete, and I'm going to delete channel 2, or the drum track I just did. Hit enter, and now it's erased. So let's do return, and let's go back to record channel. Going to put the metronome on again. Very quick movements, but you might want to watch it again to really understand what I just did. Okay? All right, so let's begin again. It was much. Oh, I hadn't even started. So let's do sync start and off we go. Okay, now I like what I've done, but it needs quantization. So I go over here to the end where we have channel, and the very first thing you see over there is quantize. So I'm not sure this will quantize exactly as I want. I'm gonna have to try a few things. So let's try this one first. Let's hit enter. And if it doesn't work, you can always hit enter to undo the quantization. But let's hear it. So I mean, it's okay, but not exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to hit enter again to undo, and I'm going to try it again with a different quantization. This one over here. This is the one I typically use. Let's hit enter and let's check it out, see if it makes sense. Not quite. So it's not what I want. It's too straight. It's not swinging as I want. So I'm going to try one more. Hit enter. Let's see if it worked. So far so good. Not exactly, but in the interest of our illustration, I'm going to take it and run. Go back to the channel record and let's try bass. And bass over here, and let's choose looking for an electric. There we go. So I got an electric bass. Let's go back and hit sync start with the metronome on, so you can kind of tell when to come in. And this is going to be on G minor, so. So I'm just going to keep it on that G minor. Now, to make this sensible, I need to change my root. So my source root needs to be G, and I need to change this to minor so that when it's transposing what I've done, it makes sense. So I'm going to say -7 with a 9. Or -7. -7 works. So let's hit save. We want that to register. Let's call it something. New style. And I'm just going to call this AN for analog. In the interest of time, hit enter. And it's saving, and you can see on the screen names of various styles I've created. I'm having my own collection of styles now. So I'm going to go to track 3. We're going to use some piano, and let's see which piano we can choose here. Suitcase EP. So this is meant to be a G minor 7th, so I need to comply and not go too far outside. Okay, so let's do that. Put on the metronome, sync start whoops, sync start, metronome, and we'll just try and make it a clean. Okay. And that's how you do it. You could keep laying and laying and laying more tracks on it, but I think we're good for now. So I'm going to exit. Let's take that off record. We got to save it. So let's save what we just did. Save it to the same name and say yes. And that is the A variation, just the A variation. We could do an A, a B, a C, and a D. And then we could do an intro, we could do an ending, you could do the whole 9 yards. But for the sake of this illustration, we're done. Now we're coming into the style proper, and we're going to play our style back. So hit start, and that's our style. Now, instead of a G minor, we're going to play an E minor. Play an A minor. B. You see how easy it is to create a style? That's your style. Depends on what you're going for. So I'm noticing when I put a 4th chord note there, it doesn't really sound as good. So this might require some trial and error. But with 3 fingers, sounds good. All right. So this core functionality of the keyboard can be very helpful to creators who want to test out ideas, rhythms, put many instruments together, hear how it might sound if you have a live band playing by mimicking those instruments. The Styles Creator is very helpful for that. And don't forget, you also have a full-fledged sequencer where you can sequence 16 instruments on this keyboard. So don't limit yourself to just the Styles Creator. Explore the sequencer, play multi-tracks, and see how that pans out. But that's, to be quite honest, a different skill set. Not everyone wears a producer hat on the DGX-670. So if your thing is just playing and entertaining, that's good. But I'd say one of these days, try exploring the Styles Creator, right? Watch this video, use the manual, try to unravel it. It pays off. I remember when I first started this world of sequencing back in about 1990s, when I started dabbling into the M1 for sequencing, the Korg M1. It took a while, and then I caught on to it, and you have to learn the technicality, and it just stuck, the sensibilities of it, because that's what you're doing on the DAW anyway. Push comes to shove, and you wanted to do this in GarageBand or Ableton or something else, then yeah, play around with multi-tracking. Maybe not here, but somewhere else. It's got a very rich assortment of voices that it would make sense to try that if that's your thing. All right, you take care. I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye for now.